Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmore are the online expert when it comes to spare parts. And the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available, they have the entire catalog. And the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today, check out the app, it's available both for iOS as well as Android devices, and also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Well, this here is the all new Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara. Now you already seen my video review of the car, but in that video I drove essentially the mild hybrid as well as the manual versions. In this video I'm going to talk to you in depth about the hybrid version and show you the interiors, what makes it different and how to drive, especially in the city of New Delhi. So my name is Ashish Masih. If you come here for the first time, please like, share and subscribe. And now let's get started with this video. Now we won't give you a walk around on the outside because it looks the same except a hybrid badge at the back, but apart from that it's the same car. But we'll show you the interiors. There are some subtle differences on the interiors, both in the front and at the back, and of course the boot also is much smaller than the regular version of the car. Let's get started with the hybrid version of the Grand Vitara. Well, so now I'm inside the cabin of the Grand Vitara Hybrid. And how is this cabin different from the mild hybrid version of the car? Well, first of all, in the mild hybrid you get burgundy color or wine color over here as well as on the seats. But in this car you get all black, and the seats also have this quilted effect which looks very premium. You also get this little bit of bronze element over here on the dashboard on both the sides, and also this car has completely black interior, so there's no burgundy shade. So that is something which gives this car a sense of premiumness. You also get completely digital display and it looks very cool and very sporty indeed. So that's something which this car has. And additional features on this car include wireless charging for mobile phone, cool front seats, EV mode, as well as different driving modes to choose from. So this is the big difference that it has compared to the mild hybrid or the manual version of the car. Apart from that, you get all the other bells and whistles. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Auto is available. You also get a nice 9-inch screen, and the stereo quality really is exemplary on this car. And of course climate control, traction control, automatic headlamps as well as automatic wipers available on this car. So a host of features which really make it stand out from a sea of other SUVs. But really I think the hybrid version really is the one to go for because the interiors feel a lot more premium than the non-hybrid versions of this car. And the interiors, that's the big difference. The back seat again is the same, no changes in terms of the headroom or the knee room. The only thing is that your head does brush against the roof lining if you're about 6 feet. If you're about 5'10", 5'11" like me, then you'll be okay. But if you're about 6 or 6'1", then you might just see your hair brush on the roof lining at the back. So those are some things that I thought I should mention. Anyways, enough of the boot now and of the interiors. Let's drive this car and tell you how it is to drive, especially in stop-go city traffic. Well, so now I'm driving the hybrid version of the car. The big positive, of course, about the hybrid is the fact that it's a very silent car. It's inherently very quiet, and that's something which you'll really appreciate. If you're driving the car on a long day, if you drive yourself a lot, then that's something that you'll truly appreciate about this car. What you'll also appreciate is the responsiveness, because it is a very responsive unit when it's driving in pure EV form. And Maruti Suzuki hasn't given us a range. They've not told us how much you can drive it in pure EV form, but I'm sure that within city limits, with the battery charging itself up from the petrol motor, you can drive it quite a fair bit. Now fuel efficiency, we haven't tested it in the city, but I think it should be around 20 kpl, because when you test it on the highway, it delivered around 23, 24, so you can easily deduct around 10% less, and even then you'll get good efficiency figures from this car. Now how it's to drive? Well, I have to say, when you start off from cold, it's eerie silence, that's all you get, and that eerie silence gets translated into a little bit of clatter, a little bit of sound. It's not a clatter, but it's a bit of a sound which comes from the petrol motor once it kicks in. Of course, when you need that extra bit of power, you get it from the petrol motor, which works in tandem with the EV unit, the electrical unit. So you get a nice wave of power coming in. Now the official power output is 115 bhp when you connect both of them together, when both of them work together, and it's a 1.5 3-cylinder unit, which has been taken from Toyota. It's a Toyota unit, so the drivetrain is completely Toyota on the hybrid. It's not a Maruti unit, and that's where the collaboration worked. But of course, if you talk about the overall acceleration, it is decent. You can't really call it quick or brisk. It's decent and it's adequate. For the highway it's adequate, for the city it's quite adequate. But yes, if you want a thrilling car to drive, you are a thrill seeker, then maybe you should look elsewhere, because it's not really a very thrilling car. It's not boring, don't get me wrong, but it's just not a very thrilling kind of car. So that is something which you have to keep in mind when you're planning to buy this car. Other than that, ride comfort is very good, even though the suspension seems to have been stiffened up for the extra weight of the batteries, but even then the ride comfort is quite good. And we drove this car from Udaipur all the way to Delhi, this particular version, the same hybrid version, and I have to say that on the highway it gave a sense of great confidence and really felt very reassuring and very solid as well. So these are things which you need to keep in mind before you make a buying decision. What else is there? Well, this car has basically the 5 different ways how it works, the engine works. One of course is on pure petrol, one is on pure EV, one is when it works in tandem, one is when it's regenerating the batteries when you're going downhill, and of course when you're braking also it's regenerating the batteries. And when the battery level falls to 0, when it goes completely down, then the engine, the petrol engine, works as a generator, and it starts filling up the battery with electric power, because it has a generator system as well in it. So that is something which you need to know before you make a buying decision, because these are things which really make this a technological masterpiece. Yes, Maruti Suzuki along with Toyota have done a fantastic job with the drivetrain, the powertrain, and it just feels very nice. The e-CVT version also works very well. The gears, just because there's no gears of course, they work so well that you don't even get to know when the actual gears are shifting. So that is something also which a lot of buyers will truly appreciate. Well, so overall Maruti Suzuki has done a fantastic job with the hybrid, and I have really enjoyed driving it. If you are someone who wants to buy a fuel efficient car but you don't want to go with the diesel, you want a car for the city, drive yourself, then definitely this is the right choice for you. It might not be as exciting to drive as some of its rivals, but that said, it is quite a sensible and nice package overall.